Hey CEO, is your planning looking more like a wish list that feels out of reach than a roadmap that's actually taking you somewhere? Chances are you had good intentions when you picked up that planner. You color coded your time blocks, you wrote down ambitious goals, maybe even chose a word of the year. But somewhere between the client calls, the laundry, and life, your focus got fuzzy. Good news, you don't need more pages or prettier pens. You need a planner that actually helps you walk out your purpose, one that keeps you focused on what matters in this season and your heart aligned with God's pace for your life and business, and one that goes beyond managing time to multiplying it. On episode 368, we talked about the growth mapping method, the simple faith centered system that helps you focus on one thing and finish it in 12 weeks. So today is part two, because I want to show you how to live that method out in real time with the same tool that I personally use every single day to stay focused, faithful, and fruitful in my business. Because once you have a plan, you just need a place to walk it out. Welcome back to the Redeem Her Time podcast. I'm Melissa Biggins, Christian scaling strategist, recovering planner junkie, and the woman who's tried every system under the sun to get her time in order. That's why I finally created my own planner when I couldn't find the perfect one. And I just want to say, if you've ever found yourself buying just one more planner thinking, this one I'll finally use and it will change things, I see you. You see, I've been a planner girl since grade school, but my favorite thing was filling out my assignment notebook. I love those fresh pages, the clean boxes, the feeling of something new, and even writing down assignments I already did just for the satisfaction of crossing it off. Tell me I'm not alone. But here's what happened. Somewhere along the way, my love for planning turned into a lot of striving. And I had piles of planners, half filled, half forgotten. Each one promised peace, but none actually produced it because they all focused on managing my time, not redeeming it. I've had a lot of women over the past year tell me that the Redeem Her Time Planner is different. One of my favorite messages came from Carolyn, founder of Rose and Pearl Publishing, who said, Lissa, your time journal has been my absolute favorite. I normally use planners for a few weeks, maybe a few months, and then stop. But I have used yours consistently since December. It'll be the first one I've owned in 20 years. Yes, 20 years that ends up full. And I get it, because that used to be me too. I'd start off strong, full of motivation and good intentions, but life would get loud, my focus would fade, and before I knew it, that beautiful planner would be collecting dust off in the corner of my desk. Now, if you've heard my story, you know that what I really needed wasn't another productivity tool to cram more tasks into an overly busy life. I actually needed a spiritual shift, a heart shift. I didn't need to manage time better. I needed to steward it differently. And it took a doctor calling me crazy to finally get my attention. That's when God started showing me that time isn't meant to be controlled. It's meant to be co-labored with in partnership with Him. So about a year ago, I stopped trying to fit my faith into someone else's system and finally decided to create my own. One that helps you scale your results by scaling your stewardship with Christ at the center. And that's how the Redeem Her Time Planner was born. Since then, I've heard story after story from women saying, Lissa, I've tried all the planners out there and this one is different. Because it's not about the coil binding, the vegan leather, or even the pretty pages. Though yes, it is beautiful. It's about how this planner helps you stay focused on what matters most and align your time with the one who gave you it in the first place. As Carolyn later told me, she said, this planner is what's actually changing my approach to time. I love setting it up, but then my ADHD kicks in and I get bored with weekly pages. But in your planner, the monthly and quarterly pages give me that new planner rush on a regular basis that keeps me going. That right there is the heartbeat of this tool. Because the Redeem Her Time Planner is designed to keep you coming back, not because you have to, but because you want to. Because you're called to do something for the kingdom with the time that you've been given. And this is what's going to help you build new rhythms, new focus, and new peace with every single passing season. So before we jump in, can I share something exciting? If you've been looking for a way to bring order to your days and momentum to your goals without waiting for January 1st, this is your moment. Because right now, I'm offering something special that brings everything we talk about in this podcast to life. It's called the CEO Focus Bundle. It's your full system to finish what you start and steward your time with purpose. Inside the bundle, you get the CEO Focus program. That's 12 weeks of accountability, strategy, and faith-led focus so you can plan and complete a profitable project. You also get the Redeem Her Time Planner, your undated 12-month structure to walk it out day by day. No waiting for a new year to begin. And You get the intentional course, normally $9.97, completely free. This way, I'm going to guide you through aligning your heart, your habits, and your calendar with God's plan. Together, these three give you the clarity, the structure, and the support to stay consistent all year, not just for a season. And because it's my early Black Friday offer, you can grab it all for 66% off, but only until November 23rd when the price goes up. So, before the season gets busier, I want to invite you to take a moment and invest in the system that's going to help you steward your business and your peace in 2026. So, right now, head to redeemhertime.com/focus bundle. That's redeemhertime.com/focus bundle and grab it while it's still available at the special early bird Black Friday pricing through November 23rd. And yes, I'll link it in the show notes. All right, let's talk about this planner and how it's helping women stop managing time and start multiplying it. But first, let's talk about why most planners fail. It's not because of lack of trying, right? It's not because women aren't trying hard enough, but because they're focused on the wrong thing. You see, most planners are built around tasks and timestamps. They assume that your success comes from filling every 15-minute box from the moment your feet hit the floor till the moment your head hits the pillow. But that's not how a faithful, fruitful woman leads her life or business. And that's definitely not how we multiply time with God. That's why this planner is different. Instead of starting with your to-do list, it starts with your with God vision, where you're headed, why it matters, and who you're becoming along the way. And then it's designed to help you align your intentions with His direction, so your schedule reflects what truly matters in this season. And here's something I've seen time and again. So many women start strong with a new planner, only to have it collect dust by March. Not because they don't care, but because, well, life gets busy. When the week feels full, who has time to slow down and write it down? That's why I built this one to work with you, not against you. Each week, month, and season, it gently prompts you to pause, to reflect back, to look ahead, and to get realigned. It doesn't demand more of your time. It actually redeems and multiplies the time you already have. And if you've ever felt guilty for abandoning a planner halfway through the year, you're going to love that this one is undated. That means you can start anytime, January, June, or right now in November. And if it ever gets tucked away for a bit, no worries. You can simply pick it back up without feeling like you've lost time. You're also going to notice what's not inside. There are no endless grids of boxes asking you to schedule all your time in minutes because your day isn't meant to be packed. It's meant to have presence. And this planner is built around my time anchor zone method with 5 main time zones I call refills and pour outs. A morning refill to start your day with God, filling your body, mind, and spirit before the world starts pulling on you. An AM pour out where you care for your home, your people, and your priorities. A day pour out to focus deeply on your business, work, or ministry where your calling meets your craft. A PM pour out to wind down the day with intention, stewarding your family or personal responsibilities. And finally, an evening refill to quiet your heart and rest in His presence. Because even rest is productive when it's with God. Most planners create pressure, but this one creates spaciousness. It's a rhythm that reminds you to pause, to Selah, to rest and reflect, with little visual cues like the Sabbath and Selah stickers that are tucked inside the front pocket. And make sure it's not just another pretty planner that looks good but sits empty. I paired it with the Intentional Year digital course. This course walks you through how to use each section with purpose. So you're not just checking boxes, you're actually building a rhythm of reflection, prayer, and planning that flows from your purpose, not all the pressure around you. Because when you plan with God, your planner becomes more than pages. It becomes that partnership. All right, let's walk through the 3 key elements inside the Redeem Her Time planner that help you stop managing time and start multiplying it. Element number 1 is CEO vision. Start from vision, not your vantage point. You see, most women build their days from where they are, not from where God is calling them to go. You know how it happens. You wake up, you look at what's on your plate, and you start reacting to emails, appointments, family needs, client messages. Before you know it, your day, week, even your month has been shaped by what's urgent instead of what's eternal. That's why the first section of the Redeem Your Time Planner starts with vision. Because if you don't know the destination, girl, you're just going to keep circling the same mountain. You're going to be busy, but not moving forward. But here, inside the Redeem Her Time Planner, you define your with God vision across 8 key areas of your life and leadership. Your faith, your family, your friendships, your service, which is your work, business, or ministry, your finances, your wellness, your passions, and your dwelling. These aren't random categories. These are the arenas where your stewardship shows up daily and what needs your attention to stay balanced and growing. You're going to take a prayerful look at where you are now, set clear intentions for each area and where you're going, and identify your priorities in each area for the year. Instead of defaulting to a list of things to do, you're going to discover how you're called to become as you do them. And then, using the guided prompts, you're going to map out your 12-month growth goals, not like rigid resolutions, but as spirit led mile markers. That way, every decision you make about your time can be anchored to where God is leading, not where life happens to pull. For women like Carolyn and so many others, this shift inside the planner has been transformational. Clients have told me that before, they'd spend hours color coding tasks and still end the week wondering what they actually accomplished. But once they started with CEO Vision, they stopped filling boxes and started filling their days with purpose. And now they can trace their daily action back to a God given destination. And that clarity brings both peace and progress. Because once you see where you're going, it changes how you show up today. Element number 2 is the CEO 12-week focus cycles, because we work in seasons, not sprints. Do you remember the growth mapping method we talked about last week? This is where it lives inside your planner, right at the heart of how you move from good intentions to God-inspired execution. Each 12-week cycle is designed to help you work in seasons, not sprints, because God doesn't call us to hustle harder and try to make it to December. He calls us to steward faithfully, one assignment, one season at a time. Instead of staring at a long list of year-long goals that feel impossible to reach, you're going to narrow your focus each season to one key project or outcome for the next 12 weeks, what I call your profitable project. It could be launching a new offer, streamlining your systems, or hosting a masterclass series. Whatever aligns with your current season and moves you forward. Then, inside each focus cycle, you're going to start with a heart and belief reset, an intentional pause where I prompt you to ask, where am I partnering with God? And where am I still trying to push on my own? You're going to revisit your vision, refresh your priorities, and renew your mindset before you even touch your to-do list. Then comes your quarterly vision board and growth map, where you'll break your big focus into 12-week goals, monthly milestones, and weekly actions. The exact structure that women inside CEO Focus use to see measurable results without losing their mind in the process. I love what Carolyn said about this part. She said, in your planner, those monthly and quarterly pages give me that new planner rush on a regular basis that keep me going. That's exactly how it was meant to feel, like a fresh start every 12 weeks. Because you don't need one big New Year's moment. You need regular resets that realign your heart, your habits, and your focus with God's purpose for you. And this rhythm is what's going to keep you engaged, consistent, and motivated without the burnout that comes from trying to do everything at once, leading to the all too common start, stop, sprint cycles that so many fall into. Because the truth is, you don't need more time. You need to multiply the time you already have by stewarding it with intention. And this 12-week rhythm is exactly how we do it. Faithfully, fruitfully, and with lots of CEO focus. And element number 3 is CEO accountability, where we walk it out with support. Because this is the game changer, accountability. Let's be honest, most planners just give you empty pages, not partnership. And what happens? Left to yourself, you buy it with good intentions, fill in a few weeks, and then life happens. And it ends up sitting half filled on the shelf next to a pile of other someday systems. But this one, it doesn't collect that dust. It creates discipline and it scales your results. How? Because when you use the Redeem Her Time Planner, you're not planning alone. You're actually stepping into a system designed for follow through and follow up. That's because the planner also fully integrates with CEO Focus, my 12-week profitable project program. The planner's going to help you lay out that vision, your priorities, and your 12-week focus cycle. And the program's going to give you the weekly accountability calls to walk it out in real time. Every week inside CEO Focus, you're going to check in on your 12-week growth map progress. What's on track, what needs adjustment, and where God is calling you to maybe make a change. The planner makes those check-ins simple and intentional. So that way you're not scrambling to remember what matters most. It's all right there in your hands. Then each month and quarter, you'll have opportunities to reset, reflect, and rest on live coaching calls. We're going to revisit your 12-week goals. We're going to adjust your priorities. We're going to make sure your vision, your business, and your time are all aligned with what God has for you. That way, nothing sneaks past you. Not your lunch, not your family obligations, not even those curveballs that life loves to throw. This is where productivity turns into what I call purposivity, where planning isn't about perfection, but preparation with God, supported by real accountability. And when you stay connected to the planner, the program, and the weekly support calls, girl, that's where the real fruit starts to multiply. That's why I'm saying this isn't just a planner. It's a partnership with God and with a system that keeps you accountable. So that way your vision doesn't just sit on a page, it actually becomes your reality. And here's the thing, the Redeem Her Time Planner isn't just a tool, it's a practice of stewardship. Because when you plan your time with His purpose, you're not just managing the minutes, you're multiplying the impact. You're saying, God, I trust you with my plans, and I'm committed to being faithful with what you've placed in my hands. That's why I love pairing the Redeem Her Time Planner with the growth mapping method inside CEO Focus, because they work hand in hand. One gives you the system, the other gives you the structure and support. And together, they help you build your life and business with God, not just for God. And here's the real world proof. A few months after starting her planner, Carolyn sent me another message. She said that her mom thought she paid too much for it, until Carolyn explained what she got out of it and how it completely changed her mindset about time. She told me, once I told her how it's changed the way I show up, she told me to send her the link. Girl, that is the ripple effect of stewardship. Because when you start multiplying your time, your focus, and your peace, people notice. And then they want what you have. And that's exactly the kind of transformation that the CEO Focus Bundle is designed to create. So here's the bottom line. Stewardship isn't waiting for January. It's starting right now in November with what's already in your hands, your time and your calling. And when you grab the CEO Focus Bundle, you're going to get everything you need to move from chaos to clarity, from distraction to focus, and from busyness to CEO. That's because you're going to have 12 weeks of accountability and coaching through the CEO Focus program. We're going to identify your one profitable project so that way you can see it through to completion. You're going to get 12 months of structure and strategy with the Redeem Her Time Planner. Yes, it's undated, so you can start now and pick it up later, even if life buries it for a week or two. And you're going to get access to the Intentional Year digital course for free. That is my step-by-step coaching guidance so you can get the most out of every section of your planner. This isn't just about checking boxes or writing more tasks down. It's about multiplying your impact, your income, and your peace with a system that keeps you faithful, focused, and fruitful all year long. So, if you're ready to finish 2020 strong, to stop just managing time and start multiplying time, so that way you can step into 2026 with clarity, consistency, and confidence, then girl, now is the time. Grab the CEO Focus Bundle and get everything you need to move from business owner to CEO. The Redeem Her Time Planner, the Intentional Year digital course, and 12 weeks of coaching and accountability with the CEO Focus program. All for just $327, but only until November 24th. Because we're not just here to check boxes or fill out another planner. We're here to multiply your impact and your income with a system that keeps you faithful to what matters most and moving forward in the season that God has you in. So go ahead to redeemhertime.com/focus-bundle and grab your bundle today. Let's make sure how you finish this year sets the foundation for your best one yet. One that's full of purpose, productivity, and God-honoring results. Okay, friend, I'll see you over inside the Redeem Her Time community where we'll talk more about this. Thanks for joining me for this episode. Until next time, remember, instead of chasing time on a clock, trying to control it, receive the gift of time from the one who truly holds it. Because as his daughter, you have time.